The sound of shattering glass pierced the hum of lunchtime chatter. For one suspended heartbeat, the diner froze. A half-eaten sandwich hung in the air, a fork clattered to a plate, and someone's coffee cup trembled in their hand. Then, silence, sharp and heavy, blanketed the room. A wine bottle rolled across the black and white tiled floor, spinning lazily until it hit the leg of a table, spilling a slow crimson stream that spread like blood. In the center of it all, a woman in a light blue dress knelt on the floor, her hands trembling. One clutched her swollen belly, the other shielded her face from the man towering over her. The air vibrated with tension, thick and suffocating. The belt in his hand gleamed under the diner's chrome lights, black leather coiled like a serpent, ready to strike again. If you believe that kindness, courage, and second chances can still change the world, please take a second right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Vibes. Your support helps powerful, real-life stories like this reach the hearts that need them most. The man's name was Victor Hale, a billionaire CEO, the face that graced magazine covers, a man worshipped in boardrooms and envied in business schools. To the world, he was a self-made success story. To the trembling woman before him, he was a cage. Her name was Alina. And once, she had believed in fairy tales. She had believed that love could conquer cruelty, that promises could protect, and that success could mean safety. But months of quiet bruises, disguised with makeup and excuses, had taught her the truth. Sometimes, monsters wore suits and smiled for the cameras. Today was supposed to be different. A small escape, a simple lunch at the corner diner while Victor took a call outside. She had ordered soup, maybe to feel normal, maybe just to feel human again. But when he saw the message on her phone, from her sister, begging her to leave him, something inside him snapped. The phone flew, the glass shattered, and Alina's last hope of hiding her pain shattered with it. The people around them sat frozen. The young couple near the window looked down at their plates. The old man at the counter gripped his cup tighter but didn't move. The waitresses huddled near the register, fear written across their faces. No one dared to stand. It was easier to pretend not to see. The air carried the heavy shame that comes when good people watch evil unfold and say nothing. Victor's voice cut through the silence, cold and controlled. "You embarrass me again," he hissed, his tone dripping with venom. He didn't care about the crowd or the eyes watching. He was used to control, in boardrooms, in his home, and in her soul. He raised the belt again, his shadow falling over Alina like a storm cloud. She tried to stand, one hand gripping the booth for balance, the other still cradling her stomach. "Sit down." Victor's voice cracked like thunder. She stumbled, her knees scraping the floor, her tears mixing with the spilled wine. The belt lifted higher. The air held its breath. And then, the sound of engines. It started faint, a low growl outside that no one had noticed before. Then came the squeal of tires, the deep rumble of power that made the glass door tremble. The bell above it jingled once, twice, and the diner's door swung open. Wind rushed in, carrying with it the scent of gasoline, steel, and something else, presence. 5 men stepped through the doorway, their boots heavy against the floor. The patches on their black vests glimmered faintly, Hell's Angels. The chatter that had once filled the diner was replaced by the slow, deliberate rhythm of boots on tile. The man in front was tall, broad-shouldered, his beard streaked with gray, his eyes calm but carved with storms. Ryder Cole. He'd seen darkness before, in alleys, in bars, and sometimes in his own reflection. But there were lines no man should cross, and what he saw before him, a man with a belt over a pregnant woman, was one of them. Victor turned, still holding the belt. His arrogance flickered but didn't fade. "This doesn't concern you," he spat, his voice laced with money and entitlement. Ryder didn't respond. He kept walking, slow and measured, each step echoing louder than the last. The others followed, their faces unreadable, their eyes sharp. The entire diner seemed to lean toward them, drawn by a force that wasn't just strength, it was purpose. Ryder stopped a few feet away. His voice, when it came, was quiet but filled with the kind of power that didn't need volume. "Put it down." Victor hesitated, forcing a laugh that rang hollow. "You don't know who I am." Ryder's gaze didn't waver. "I don't care who you are. You touch her again, and you'll find out who we are." The air crackled. The belt slipped slightly from Victor's hand. One of the bikers, a man with kind eyes behind a rough exterior, gently moved past and helped Alina to her feet. Her legs trembled. Her fingers gripped his arm for balance. Her breathing came in sharp, shallow bursts, but when her eyes met Ryder's, she saw something she hadn't felt in months: safety. Victor's confidence faltered. His eyes darted around, measuring his odds, realizing too late that his power meant nothing here. These men didn't care about his name or his money. They lived by loyalty, not fear. They understood a kind of honor the world had forgotten. The belt hit the floor with a dull thud, the sound of a kingdom crumbling. No one clapped. No one cheered. The silence itself became the victory. Victor's face twisted with fury and humiliation, and without another word, he stormed out, slamming the diner door so hard the windows rattled. The echo lingered, not of violence, but of justice. Ryder knelt beside Alina. "You safe now?" he asked, his tone softer than anyone expected from a man who looked like him. She nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. One of the waitresses brought her a glass of water. Another draped a towel over her shoulders. Slowly, like a heartbeat restarting after too long, the diner came back to life. Conversations whispered. A broom swept up the broken glass. The air began to move again. But something inside that room had changed forever. Ryder stood, his eyes sweeping across the silent onlookers. His words came calm and heavy. "Don't ever sit quiet when you see something like that. Silence protects the wrong people." His gaze lingered on them, not accusing, but reminding, that courage isn't just in fists or fury, it's in choosing to stand. Then, he turned, and the bikers walked out the same way they came in, steady, proud, leaving behind the faint scent of engine oil and redemption. Outside, the motorcycles roared to life, engines growling like thunder rolling across a cleansed sky. Alina watched through the diner window, her reflection ghosting over the glass, fragile but alive. The sunlight caught in her eyes, and for the first time in a long time, she didn't see a victim staring back. She saw a survivor. That night, she would pack her things. She would leave the mansion of marble walls and silent bruises behind. She didn't know where she would go, but she knew she would never walk alone again. Somewhere out there, 5 men who didn't even know her name had shown her that kindness still existed, fierce, fearless, and loud enough to silence cruelty. Sometimes heroes don't wear suits or capes. Sometimes they wear leather vests, ride steel beasts, and carry the kind of courage the rest of the world forgets to use. If this story touched your heart, if you believe that standing up for others still matters, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Vibes. Let's make sure the message of courage, compassion, and action spreads as far as it deserves to.